Welcome to the Robin Park Arena. It's the 2014 PDC Q School Day 1, and I'm happy to say we've been joined by former World's #1 and 3 times world finalist Peter Manley. Thanks for joining us, Peter.
I checked my wallet then when you said welcome to Robin.
No, I've changed. I'm not like that anymore. Peter actually has entered the 2014 Q School Day 1, but it's not been a good start then, Peter.
No, it's always going to be difficult for me. I mean, the thing is, I've got so many fans out there. It's unbelievable. I get so many messages of goodwill, and it's been very difficult to come in today, especially after, I've been ill and everyone knows that. It's not publicised that much, but I'm talking to the guys and I just panicked on the dartboard, and until I can learn to relax a little bit more, they're not going to see Peter Manley back yet.
No. I mean, you said obviously the fans and I can remember there's a story, I think you might have said that in the Premier League, even your missus, Chris, used to boo you when you used to walk on the stage. Was it that bad at times?
It was fantastic, the Premier League. You can never 8,000 people booing you is every player's delight. A lot of players didn't like it, but for me, it worked.
Certainly. So back to the Q School, unbelievable. We've got some fantastic players out. 360 registered, about 340 I think turned up today. Players like Christian Kiss, obviously former BDO world champion. It's a good turnout, isn't it?
Well, there's a lot of spaces for them, and these guys who've come over, especially they come over from the BDO, are going to see such a different atmosphere and the feel about the place and the way, of course, it's run professionally. So they've got the best balls to play on. They've got everything in their favour. They should relish the idea.
Yeah. And that's obviously to get to, around about 40 Pro Tour cards. I think each day there's 4 semi-finalists automatically get a 2-year card, I believe, and then count back on the rank and how they've done over the 4 days. There's going to be a lot of good players missing out, and of course they get the chance to go onto the Challenge Tour, I believe.
Well, yeah, the unfortunate thing is obviously it's unfortunate, but it's great in a way that the PDC this year have brought in the Challenge Tour, which gives players the option of having somewhere to at least play their darts, other than the Youth Tour that has been so successful so far. But the players now, unfortunately, here are only wanting to play on the Challenge Tour. Still don't feel they're good enough. No. But unfortunately, what's happening is some of the good players are drawing each other and maybe knocking themselves out. But overall, the 4 days, these top players should come to the top and equally get a tour card.
Yeah, and it's good to see people, obviously like people like Ian White and players like Michael Smith, so the youth world champion, of course, who dispatched Phil Taylor in the world championship. Great to see them having a look around, seeing what's about, supporting some of their local players, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously they're coming back not wanting to actually want to play in this sort of thing. I mean, it must be hard for the likes of Mark Hilton, Alan Tavern, these guys that have been in top of their form and their game, having to come back. I know what it was like, but unfortunately for me, I was ill, and it's always going to be hard for me now. I have great people behind me. I've got Winmore and everything, so it's all to play for. I've got everything to try and get right, and it's however long I want to take over it now. But the future's great for darts.
Yeah. And is the hunger there for Peter Manley still? Obviously, you was a top player in, should we say, in your day. It's not that long ago. I've seen you in a world final.
Well, I've got used to Holmes under the hammer in the mornings, but. No, it's the hunger's not there. The hunger and desire's not there. I'd like to pick and choose what I want to go in, and you can't. Unfortunately, if I was good enough for the World Match Play, I'll be good enough for everything that year. I have a little bit of fear from when I was ill, how well I want to do, what it actually puts, the stress and the strain and the travelling and everything. I'm not sure if I really want to do that yet. And it still may be a little bit too early. So, who knows? I'm never going to say that I never want to come back, because I still love the game.
Yeah. And you said about the standard, I just walked in a couple of hours ago, and the first game I've seen, second leg, somebody checks out a 170. The chances are that player we won't even see on the Pro Tour, and that shows that the standard is just ridiculous now, isn't it?
Well, I think the standard is just gone through the roof, especially not just for the World Championship, but throughout the year. I mean, Adrian Lewis, 19 180s against Phil Taylor, loses. Justin Pipe, a 125 average, and he's 4-2 down. What have you got to do to play darts these days? And this sort of darts that we're seeing now is actually delaying me comeback.
Makes you think a little bit. I can imagine. 10 years now, the chairman of the PDPA, Peter.
Yeah, I do. I've always loved doing that work, and we're turning things into fruition now, sort of thing. Alan Warren, he works very closely. He was an ex-player as well, so he knows exactly what the professionals are after. We work very tightly and closely with the PDC. We do have our arguments, but that's what it's all about. And hopefully, at the end of it, what comes out of it is good things for the dart player.
And the year ahead, the 2014 year, obviously we've got Michael Van Gerwen is now world's #1. Knocked your old sparring partner, Mr. Taylor, off of that spot. Will Phil ever regain that spot, do you think?
Well, he'd be retaining his win next year, won't he? So he'll only be protecting. It's what he does now.
Yeah.
And Van Gerwen, again, of course, can actually win it again. It's going to be very hard for Phil to actually get back to #1. I think Michael's going to be there for a little while.
Yeah, he is. And any young players you sort of you notice on? Obviously, you know all the players. Anyone you think, well, a couple of years' time he could be sort of, not saying another Michael Van Gerwen, but of that, moving towards that sort of class.
Well, we got Ross Smith, and you got. I mark for a young guy, Keegan Brown. I mean, they got so much to go for, and I look at his darts and you see no nerves, no feeling, no nothing. Just get in there and do it. And he's bashing in 180s for fun. I like to hit one at least every month.
Yeah, I've seen your exhibitions. No, actually, Peter, is fantastic exhibitions, and it's still available, I believe, at very reasonable prices.
Yeah, it's something I love doing. I've always loved meeting people and having a laugh. It's not about always the quality of darts. I mean, an Irish guy came up to me when I was working in Ireland and said that he'd won a fortune on me. I said, that's good. He said, I always backed under 2 180s. Not really what I wanted to hear, but it was true.
Well, okay then, Peter, so you've got 3 more days, so you obviously here every day to try and compete. Will you enter the European qualifiers sort of on Sunday? Because we've got 2, I believe, on Sunday.
No.
No, we'll leave that.
No, it's. I wanted to see how well I actually even done today to even think about doing things like that. But they're the sort of things that I need to put right in my game. I can't think of anything worse at the moment than driving to an airport and travelling. I need to get myself right. If I can get myself right, I can get my game right, because I do love the game. And if I was a world #1 and 3 times world finalist, I can get back up there again.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking time out to join us, Peter. Best of luck next few days. My name is Paul Starr. That's the former world's #1 and 3 times world finalist, Peter Manley. Thanks for joining us on TungstenTales.